Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Gloria Ruth Finney. Thank you for watching WGXA News at 5:30. President Donald Trump has delayed enforcement of a law that would ban TikTok while his staff works on a deal to maintain access to the app in the United States. A local pastor is speaking out after hearing dozens of gunshots in his neighborhood, only to find out those bullets were hitting his home. WGXA's Brittany Miller has the story in this week's Project Macon. Well, enjoy your chicken when you get it. A deadly overnight attack on Ukraine by Russia further complicates a fragile peace deal trying to be negotiated by the United States. As national correspondent Matt Galka reports, President Trump says he has his own deadline for when the U.S. might walk away from the table. A Warner Robins man says he was targeted by a Fort Valley police officer. He spoke exclusively to WGXA News reporter Carlos Stevens. Carlos, the chief says body cam footage tells a different story. Local organization is making us Middle Georgia proud as it aims to ensure underserved students are well fed and ready to learn every day. WGXA's Amanda Peralta sat down with backpack buddies to learn how the program helps thousands of area students who may otherwise go hungry. Brian Kemp's tenure as governor will only last 18 more months, and new challengers are already beginning to put their name in the race. The Trump administration is looking to crack down on alleged leakers working in the federal government. Ocean County, New Jersey is now under a state of emergency. Grammy-winning rapper Jeffrey Young Thug Williams has accepted a plea deal in his racketeering conspiracy case in Georgia. In court today, the 33-year-old changed his plea to guilty on all counts except for his RICO and gang leader charges. The deal comes roughly a year after opening arguments. Plenty of rain and storms across Middle Georgia today, and these showers and storms will continue the next several hours. Chief Meteorologist Ryan Stinnett joins us now with a look at the active radar. Ryan, you were there today. I stayed back here at the station, but I got to see what some of you guys were up to. Brianna, she got to see some sea lions, which I was very jealous of.
So was I.
You had your first live shot from the track. Tell me about it. What all did you see there? Greg and Amanda, people in the community gathered bricks, taking mementos of what was this 1950s building of Commercial Circle. People were cheering, knock it down, before the excavator slammed into what was this former business.
WGXA News reporter Gloria Ruth Finney has been in Plains all day long. And Gloria Ruth, you've been talking with people who knew the Carters very well.
Yes, Greg, I have. Now, I've seen some familiar faces. I've been here before, and one of those familiar faces is Philip Kurland. He's the owner of the Plains Trading Post, a store behind me. It's a political memorabilia store, and it's often one of the first places tourists stop to see here. And you can take a look behind me and see that giant sign that makes it abundantly clear that this is the home of the former President Jimmy Carter. Now, I spoke with Kurland today, who says that when he talked to current events with the former president, he always knew he had to bring his A game.
I had a very good rapport with President Carter. We would talk current events, what we're reading, but I always had to be on my A game because whatever topic you brought up, he knew in detail. And I always knew when I was off base, because if I brought up a topic and he didn't think I knew what I was talking about, he'd leave.
Now, Kurland said when he spoke with Rosalind Carter about current events, it was a very different exercise. It was more of a listening game for him because she was very strong and opinionated about her viewpoints. Now, tonight at 11 on ABC 16, we'll be sharing the story of one woman who worked for the Carters for more than 50 years. Reporting live in Plains, Georgia, I'm Gloria Ruth Finney, WGXA News. The last few minutes, the chunks of snow are just falling down here. It is really beautiful, but it is really cold. So we hope that you're enjoying the snow day and staying safe. And here's to snow in Middle Georgia. Reporting in Macon, I'm Gloria Ruth Finney, WGXA News. The 3-year-old Billy Scott Carter is being called a hero after he pulled a child to safety today on the Ocmulgee River. He was here with 6 children, some of his stepchildren and their friends, to enjoy a day of fun in the sun off of the sandbars here at the Ocmulgee River Walk. But that day quickly turned into a tragedy. I'm told that after he pulled that child to safety, safety. He wasn't seen again, and a 7-year-old called 911. That's when crews arrived here. This all happened around 12:30 this afternoon, and an hour later, his body was recovered from the river just west of the Spring Street Bridge. Now, earlier, a family friend was here to pick up the car that Carter drove here, and he went down to the embankment and even collected a fishing pole left behind here that belonged to Carter. And he says that this has just been a terrible tragedy for everyone involved. Now, I am working with the Bibb County Sheriff's Office for an opportunity to speak with the sheriff or any medical practitioners overseeing the inmates. I'm looking to find out what kind of plans are in place to help the inmates that do have mental health issues in hopes of rehabilitation back into the community. Reporting live in Macon, I'm Gloria Ruth Finney, WGXA News. The guys from Triple B Ranch in Athens came here to Perry with 30 sheep. And the people in the bleachers are already set up to watch these people behind me suit up and get ready to ride.
It's really fun.
Scott Brown really is the GOAT. And don't look so surprised.
I've roped and team roped all my life.
And the same goes for his sons.
We've been in it for a while. Been to China. We put on the first barrel race over there they put on. Brazil, Italy. I mean, I've been blessed. I've been a lot of places to do a lot of things.
So why did he bring 30 sheep to the Georgia National Fair?
Giving gold belt buckles from the Wool Riders Association.
Did we hear that right? The Wool Riders Association.
The Wool Riders Association.
This is a thing.
Yes.
Yep, this is mutton busting.
We'll load them in the chute up here. And they got 6 seconds to ride.
Not these kids, these kids.
Kids has got to be 65 pounds and less. Some of them is like woolly. So they got to just get them a grip.
And that's how you hang on, or try to at least. For some of these riders, this very well may be their first rodeo.
I think a lot of them, they start out mutton busting, then they go to steers, and then they go to bulls or broncs, one of the two.
While they say cowgirls don't cry, there are a few exceptions, but not for fearless 5-year-old Adeline Morrow.
I like riding a sheep.
She's not sheepish at all. Her big piece of advice:
Hold on tight.
they wear helmets
You don't want a kid to get hurt by no means.
and vests, just like the big leagues. Once they're suited up, it's time to hop on. The gate shuts, the chute opens, then it's time to ride. It may be harder than it looks to hang on for 6 seconds, but it's not their only chance. These guys will be here for the entirety of the Georgia National Fair. Gloria Ruth Finney, WGXA News. Now, I was really impressed with the bravery of some of these kids who signed up and hopped right on. Now, I'm going to go over here and watch a little bit more of this rodeo. Back to you guys. PNT technicians are joining 17,000 other workers across the Southeast. They're on an unfair labor practice strike after they say AT&T is not bargaining in good faith with their union. Orchards across the mid-state are delivering a significantly more fruitful harvest this year. In Georgia, where the weather sometimes seems to have a mind of its own, for some middle Georgia farmers, you could say things are looking just peachy. Helene hitting Soperton in Trutland County, just 2 miles per hour shy of a Cat 3 hurricane, sweeping the county with winds over 100 miles per hour. In Trutland County, the destruction is vast.
Couldn't tell the outside world what was going on in Soperton.
Mayor John Kuhn says cut off from communication for nearly 48 hours.
It was one of the most fearful times of my life, and there was nothing we could do about it. You wake up at daylight and you see the mass destruction.
Hurricane Helene hitting here last Thursday.
We're known, for our pine tree production.
In the land of a million pines.
We're looking at people that lost everything.
On Tuesday, people working to clear the debris.
Roof come down on top of me and it pinned my fiance.
Randy Rowland says nearly killing him and his fiance.
Had it been for that entertainment center, me and Rebecca both would be dead.
Rebecca suffered a concussion.
The tree hit the house, hit my mama by the head.
But it could have been much worse. Now her daughter is praying for her mother's return home.
Please bring mama back here and I could be with her.
Until then,
In the bed. Okay. All right. Y'all take care.
the work continues, clearing the debris, sweeping the destruction, picking up the pieces, brick by brick. On Tuesday, there was some relief.
We really need it right now for our area.
While there's still a ways to go.
We showed Helene that that we can take what she had to throw at us. So,
For EMA Director Justin McNair and many others, there truly is no place like home.
this is my home. So you know, we love our home.
You can call it a home run. Eric Dial and his wife started this passion project
The Field of Dreams.
a little over a year ago. Since then, he says they tried to cover all their bases to get this place up and running.
We went ahead and did a lot of the stuff they asked us to.
Located right next to their farm on Johnstonville Road.
We've got goats, we've got cows, some pigs, the turkey, his name is Tom.
Twin Oaks Fun Farm, welcoming guests centered around fun and families.
Adults and kids alike can do all of this stuff.
Dial told us on Tuesday the county planned to prosecute him and his wife for ordinance violations. On Wednesday, he said that changed after speaking with a judge and the district attorney.
We were able to discuss the citations. We came up with a good common ground for everybody.
He says at around $6,000 a day in fines, he was close to looking at over $1 million in penalties.
It looks as though it is no fines whatsoever. We did give on the driveway, and so I have to put in a pipe, which is not a problem. I told Judge Wilson I'd be happy to do that, and we're going to start in the morning. And we've been trying to do this since almost April and haven't been able to work it out with the county itself. And then all of a sudden, the DA gets involved and it handles itself almost.
So the Dials can get back to tending to their herd and their plans to see this place grow.
I'm hoping for a fresh start and an exciting future.
That incident. Our Gloria Ruth Finney is live with us tonight in the studio after attending a vigil for 41-year-old Stephen Fawcett earlier this evening. Gloria Ruth?
Greg, the attorneys I spoke to today say that in other counties in Georgia, video footage is routinely viewed by family immediately following a situation like this, but that hasn't been provided, which is why they held a vigil earlier this evening. It's the question friends and family are asking. What happened to 41-year-old Stephen Fawcett? Fawcett died while in custody of the Bibb County Sheriff's Office in May. On Tuesday, family and friends and others showing support gathered outside the sheriff's office for a vigil.
Death is final. And I just want to know if they would want someone to do that to their loved one.
The sheriff's office says he was tased during a medical emergency and that he was restrained and taken to a hospital by ambulance where he later died.
What are y'all doing? Not one person thought I had enough decency in them to just say, just stop.
Since then, a GBI medical examiner ruled Stephen Fawcett's death a homicide after the district attorney and Bibb County sheriff requested the GBI be brought in on October 2nd.
I know I've been changed. You see that I know I've been changed. Good Lordy,
This case right here has triggered some very serious questions and concerns everybody in this community should have.
While they don't yet have all of the answers, attorneys representing Stephen Fawcett's family believe law enforcement security footage and deputy body cam video could provide answers, as well as a sense of closure for Fawcett's friends and family.
You don't know what you took from our family. Our son was more than just an inmate.
The GBI tells us their agents are reviewing the Bibb County Sheriff's Office investigation, and they say right now there aren't any other investigative details available for release. Reporting live in the studio, Gloria Ruth Finney, WGXA News.